All right, everybody. Hey, how's it going today? Doofus Bob here. Been a while. So one of the reasons I wasn't around, as I mentioned in my update video, is that I was out of glue and I had to order some from Amazon. So I had to put everything on hold and work got busy and all that good stuff. So as you can see, we have the ATST in front of us. We have the directions right here. Let me get the glare off of there. It's kind of hard the way my light's set up. Pretty straightforward. All right, let's do this again. Okay, so here's the directions. You put some of the legs on, put those together, and then I didn't do like a full assembly video on this because it's pretty straightforward. There's really nothing crazy about it. There is one thing I changed. And this little tiny thing here is a concussion grenade launcher. And that was supposed to go over here. But it came with these little, little blanks you could have put into the hole there if you didn't want to use either of these, which I'm not sure why you would do that. I mean, what weapons would you use then besides this gun here? So what I did is I glued that to this, which it's an ATST mortar launcher. And the little thing was the DW3 concussion grenade. Sorry, I'm not even showing you, am I? It's right here. So this was supposed to just I guess you just glued it on the side here. It's kind of weird that they didn't just make a hole for it. I don't know. But I thought it looked much cooler this way. So I went ahead and glued that to the little blank and then put it on like this. And I'm pretty happy that I did that. It looks much better. This episode, we're just going to paint this. I'm going to take it outside and use the, let's see, what are we going to do here? I'll probably go over it with a flat black and then a primer gray over that. And that way the black will get into all these little crevices and everything here. And when I do the gray, I'll lightly go over it with gray spray paint primer, and then we're going to come back over it, and we've got a lot of stuff we can do here color wise. A lot of shades of gray. I'm probably not going to put a lot of rust on here. I mean, this is Imperial, right? Hopefully their stuff isn't too rusty. But we will have some oil residue of some kind, maybe a dark tone here. So, when you're looking at your tones, you've got strong, soft, and then I think this is dark. Yeah. Probably put the soft in kind of like a lot of places. And then the dark will go around, some of the joints and stuff here. And then the strong tone can be looking like it's dripping, all machinery has little bits of oil and stuff. So trying to organize my workspace here. And a little concerned about this because it seems awfully loose. One of the options you had was to just super glue everything, but I didn't. I made it so it's movable because I can't really decide how I want it. I mean, you could always have it like this, Hold on. I guess that's as far as you can go, right? Uh-oh. Hold on. Oh, there it goes. I was going to say, I didn't glue it. There it goes. I want to break it. Kind of make it look like it's walking, like this. But I haven't decided yet. We'll have to get it onto the Battle of Hoth board. I'm going to keep them separate and go spray paint them black and then cover it with gray, and I will be right back. You'll notice here in the background, we've got one of the Hasbro ATSTs, and just kind of looking at it to see what kind of coloring they did to it. We've got some, obviously they got some dirt on the bottom and some shading here, some blast marks it looks like. So you can see after I spray painted it with black and then primer gray, the outlines came out really well. So right here, I won't have to do a lot right there. It looks really good. All the little texturing, if you will, here looks really good. But there's gonna be a lot of overlay here. So after you spray paint, make sure, that one doesn't turn. That one's glued into position. This one does though. And the legs do. There's a little articulating there. So I'm gonna start trying to get close to this gray here, and we'll go from there. This is a size 8, and let's see. Yeah, that looks good. Looks like, see how it's spreading there? It'll spread really nicely. Probably keep the bottom a little bit less weathered than maybe the top of the head. And this part, obviously we're gonna have to put some blaster marks there because you know the rebels are shooting at them. So let me get this guy out of the way. Using the iPhone here. As I've said 100 times, my other camera is just crappy. Up close anyway. Checking for tackiness here a little bit because it's only been maybe about 30-40 minutes since I did the first layer. I had a nice breeze, so the first layer dried, the black, and then the gray kind of probably should have left it sit more, but I think we're good. So let's try to get something close to that. Now this is a brigade gray, which might be a little too light. Well, that would make a nice undercoat, wouldn't it? Company gray. Let's put the two together here. Yeah, kind of like the company gray. And then you have a castle. Oh, wait a minute. I think this castle gray might be the right one. Let's try some of this one. Gotta shake it up a little bit. I'm gonna be honest with you. Gonna be a little distracted here. Okay, it's Sunday, I believe the 14th, and the FIFA World Cup is on, and Netherlands versus Japan is about to start. So if I get distracted, don't take it personal. Or I mean, you can, but you know, I'm still gonna watch the game. I'm not a huge sports fan, to be honest, but I do enjoy watching the FIFA. It just it's a lot of fun to watch that one. So let's start putting some of this down and see how it looks. Just go around here. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Now, if you watch the Darth Maul series, you notice they went for kind of a watercolor washed look in their animation, and everything looked really good. So these brush strokes here, I'm not too worried about that because I kind of enjoyed that look they did. You can see I got a little bit over here, but that's all right. Let's just go ahead and go over all these parts here. We don't have to get into all the crevices. Like here, you can tell we've got into here and here, but inside there we didn't get into, that's fine. We will try to get in there. Then we'll go back over it. So this is one of the more mechanized units, right? And so we're gonna be okay if it looks somewhat dingy. Like the snow troopers, I didn't want their armor to look too dingy. Yeah, I like this color. That's a good color. We're gonna go over it with a variety of other stuff. So that brigade gray, that's pretty light. That's pretty light. So we can probably use that for highlighting. Could have also painted these before I assembled them. I never do though. I think I did that once on one of the ATRT, maybe I did it. Might hear some barking. My neighbor's dog is going crazy. Always new neighbors and behind me. Nice people, but I really don't think they treat their dogs very well. They're constantly being left outside regardless of the weather. You know, if you live in the Midwest, you get storms and stuff just out of nowhere. I'm not going for 100% coverage. So like that part right there, we'll just leave that. It comes out looking nicely. But we're gonna end up using a lot of this gray because this is a lot of surface area here. I didn't upload it. I did one about where I was painting my stormtroopers before I went on vacation. And when I opened it up in the software to start editing it, oh my God, I was completely, I was like this the whole time. And I was just like, that was like, it was like a 40, after everything would have been said and done, it probably would have been like a 40-minute video. All that work for nothing. But sometimes you make mistakes. I'm not going to worry too much about the joint area because I'm going to cover that with the toner anyway. Okay, so you get the idea of what I'm doing. I'm going to save a little phone battery life here and just go ahead and finish doing all this in just the gray castle. That's what it was, gray castle. Boy, I tell you, I need some more coffee. So I'm gonna cover this in gray castle and I'll be right back. All right, everybody, we're back. Ooh, almost knocked over my camera. It's like sitting right in front of me. So you can see I went over with the gray castle, which gave me kind of that nice military gray without being a dark gray. It's almost like a gray khaki, if you will. And we could have done the whole thing in this, but I don't want to do that. So this side here, and here, I just went over it twice, get good coverage. These parts here, you can tell they look a little bit less covered. And I did that on purpose because, you know, we're going to be going over it. So no point in wasting paint. I got a little bit too much right here. Hold on, that's not focusing well. There it goes. Let's do it this way because I think it was trying to focus on my hand. So we got a little bit too much here, right? And we'll fix that. Now, some of these parts, I took the brush and just kind of went over like this, you know, and like over here and over here. Oh, sorry, over here and over here. So now, let's see. The color where'd it go? The color I want to try, knocked him over, is this dark stone. So for some of these recesses and under parts, I'd like to try something else here. So I'm gonna get this dark tone here. And let's try it in some spots here first and see how this looks. Like right here. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Because I always use gunmetal, but I think we should go with something else. Now, we could have also gone over it with gunmetal and then the dark stone. The dark stone is just a little, you know, it's darker than what some of the other grays that you can see there in the background. For this, I'm just going to go over it like that. Now, I don't need to get into the crevices of it. Just a natural differentiation in color. Okay, I can't get to the other side so easily, but there we go. And we'll do the bottom too. You know what? We're going to go over this. And then we'll come back and go over these two little panels here with the gray castle. I use the Army Painter flat gray and flat black to do the initial sprays. I didn't mention that earlier. I'll probably have to go over this one again later. I just want to get that on there. Okay. Now, yeah, I might just leave it. So I got a little bit too much on the brush here. This particular color has been sitting for a while, so I really had to shake it up. And I don't think it shook up very well, because you can see where there's some paint and where there's some just a solvent. Okay, well, Netherlands just scored over Japan. 1-0 at the 50 minutes. Told you I'd get distracted there a little bit. Okay. Where else do we want to put that? I really like the way that looks. I'm going to put it over here. Now the gun barrels themselves, I will do gunmetal because it just sounds right. Okay, I'll get in a little bit more there. There we go. Do the sides. Do this in here. That one right there. Notice I said there, not there. Okay, oh, we got that little bit there, don't we? Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do this collar up here. That color too. I like this color. Go around. Notice I've got the gray castle up there. But for this part here, again, if I stop for a minute, it's because I'm looking at the game. And you're probably like, well, why don't you just, not do that? Yeah, I like to watch TV while I'm doing this stuff. Remember, this is a hobby. I'm showing you my hobbies. I did check out Zoroastro's when he painted the ATST. That was like 9 years ago. But I'm not using the same colors he used. Trying to changing it up a little bit. There we go. And I think for the underbody here, might do more of a much darker color for the rest of it, but nobody's going to see this part really. Okay. These pipes and things, we're going to do this flat black. But while we're here, we can do this. You can also mix the colors just to make your own if you like. The problem with that is you got to remember what you did, so when you come back to go over it again, and I always forget what I was doing. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do this part too. I looked away again. Still 1-0. By the time Hopefully this will be uploaded sometime in the same week here, so I'll go ahead and do this part too. It's a little too bright. Okay, let's see this. There's a panel inside here. You know what? Hold on. So I'm gonna grab the 5-0 and just kind of come in here. Yeah, there's a lot of paint on this brush. Be more careful. Yeah. Let's see. Well, okay, that's right. I was trying to remember what's the other panel I wanted to do. A little bit off there. We'll go back over it. And we're going to go back and do some little quick brushes over some of this with maybe a little bit of the dark tone or maybe a little flat black. Make it look a little bit dirty. So because the ATST has a lot of parts to it, it's gonna look pretty dirty. You know, a lot of grease involved. Okay. Now, one thing I want to do, because I think it's going to take some layers, are these eyes right here. Not really the eyes, they're the viewports. What was it? Was it, let's see, Mandalorian, where they were red? So, we're going to use just pure red. And let's see, might take a few coats to look the way we want it to. So I'm going to go ahead and put the first one on right now. Okay. You see, it's not, actually it looks pretty good. I was going to say it's not covering well, but it is. You see, I got a little bit of smudge over there. And that's because there's probably something on my hand. Let's take a look here in a minute. I guess I should be talking louder, but I'm not a loud talker to begin with. There we go. Let's see. Yep, definitely. See, I got some stuff on my hand here. But that just looks natural, so we'll leave it. So these parts here, underneath here, I don't want to leave them that dark gray. It don't look right to me. I want it closer to the gray castle. But I have some gray castle out, so I'm gonna go ahead and use it up since I got some in my little dish here, and go over some other parts a little bit more. See, the other problem I'm having is using my Verizon phone to do this, and for some reason I can't get it to charge fast. So that's why I said, well, I'm gonna put this gray castle color on and I'll be right back, instead of actually doing it in front of you, because for some reason it's not charging very quickly. I do not know why. So some of these raised parts here, I want to make those a little bit brighter. And let's see, make sure we do the other side. Okay, let's move the head out of the way. I keep hitting it. Maybe here too. Japan scored. Okay. Oh, it was a kick. I mean, they're all kicks, aren't they? But just kind of highlighting some parts here to kind of show, okay, well, this part's a little bit less dirty. And they don't have to be the same on either side. So like this is bright, this one is, but over here we didn't do it. Because see, this part here goes into there when it's walking, right? So there's a little bit too much missing here. The feet, definitely, we don't want to spend too much time on right now because we're going to go over that a lot stuff. All right. Oh, you know what? Look what we didn't do. We didn't do this part here. See? Gotta just keep looking at stuff. Oh, and this over here. Kind of just using up the paint that I just put in because instead of a single little drop, I put a little bit too much. Okay. And this paint ain't cheap. I mean, it's not stupid expensive, but it is. It is, I think, maybe $6 or $7 a bottle, depending on where you get it. Okay. I don't want to think too long with the camera running, but let's get back to here. Let's see which one of these would accent that. This looks like a lighter version of the castle gray. So like if I take these three and hold them up like this, hopefully you can see that this and this is like a little bit more brown compared to this in there. And this is the lighter version of all three. So, I'm gonna try I think the gargoyle gray. I'm gonna go with I'm testing this. I think the size 8 will do all right. See how this looks. A little bit too much there. Seems a little light. But remember, we're going to do some of the dark tones. And hopefully that'll darken it up a little bit. I know I'm getting it on there, but it's okay. We'll come and deal with that in a minute. Okay, now, you know what? Let me do the other side because I got the big brush in my hand. Oop, Netherlands just scored, so it's 2-1. Netherlands to Japan. I like the games where they where they have a nice amount of scoring. Although football, soccer, whatever you want to call it, yeah, it's a whole other game. Those games where it's just the two teams are so good that they just, they can't score on each other. I mean, I respect the skill, but it's kind of boring. Let's see if I can just go around here. We have to clean that up a little bit, aren't we? Yeah, let's go ahead and switch brushes here. Wasting some paint. Let's use this one. So we're switching to the 0. Try to keep it in camera here. Where is it? Here we go. Okay. Go underneath here. Hope you're doing something fun today. This is what I'm doing. Okay, so you see I kind of went under there. Got a little bit too much over here. There we go. There we go. So back here, when I had the castle gray, I just kind of lightly went over everything. Can't decide what we're doing back there. Might do the dark stone there. Might just do a flat black to maybe enhance it. I'm thinking these panels here could go with this. What was this? Great Hall Gray? No, I thought I did the gargoyle. I did gargoyle. That's what it was. It looks a little, you can see there's some spots missing. We'll just consider that chip paint. Okay. Now the other thing I want to do is get in here. See if I can keep my hand steady enough to do this. There we go. So my original plan, I was almost going to play some Skyrim today. But tell you what, I realized it's been a while since I made a terrain video, so I'll do that. And it looks like we need a little bit more here. So sometimes the solvent in the paint spreads more than the pigment. And that's because my paints were laying on their side for a while. Okay. Pretty happy with this color, so let's go ahead and put it over here. Careful not to get it into the eyes. Don't want to blind the ATST, do we? Oops. I said oops because I was putting the brush in the wrong color. 72 minutes, still Netherlands 2, Japan 1. That was a good game. It was a good game. I watched, let's see, what was the one earlier today? Germany versus Curacao. Wow. Good on Curacao. They got one in the beginning. And then after that, it was just, well, Germany, I think, what, 4-time champions? It was a long shot. But it would have been a nice upset. Didn't happen, though. But I'll tell you what, that guy that scored from Curacao, that scored the goal, boy, he was happy. It's a big deal if they score a goal during the FIFA. You know, everybody's watching. Okay, had to look down to make sure I'm in camera frame. So the A5 speeder truck video, somebody made a comment, like, wow, this is a long upload. I was like, that was almost 3 hours, I think. And I knew it was going to be long because in that one, I did the assembly, like every step, and then the painting every step, you know. It's, I just wanted to do a long video to kind of get the practice, you know what I mean? I'm not going to do that all the time. That was too much. It took forever to edit that video. going to go ahead and paint over this part and then go back over it with the other color. I want you to be careful when you're painting stuff. So if you look over here, is it a little too blurry? There it goes. Right here, you see that little dark spot? Yep, that's the shadow. Okay, you'll find yourself, why isn't this getting colored? Well, it's a shadow. Okay. Let's put a little bit more here because it's on my brush. It's the same color, the gargoyle. Just kind of going over it here and there. It's okay if it's a little uneven. Battle hardened ATST. So, I think that looks pretty good. I like it. I like it. A little differentiation there. Wonder if I should go over this part. No, I think I'm happy with it. Now these round parts here, I want to do something else there. I still got some of the gargoyle. So let's go over some other light parts here. Maybe like here. So when we do the dark wash, and we'll probably use the dark and the strong and the soft, we're gonna have some nice color variation. And if you don't do the edges, like you just go up to the edges, then it looks like, just standard wear and tear. Oh, got a little bit over there that I did. I'm gonna go ahead and do this bottom part up on the foot here, just to kind of brighten it up a little bit. And then we'll darken it later. Trying to just create some variation in color. Before the red dries on me. Oh, actually, that looks pretty good. I was gonna put another coat on there, but it'd be too much red. That actually looks like it's got some dark spots to it, kind of like Vader's eyes. Okay, that is what, this is the gray castle. Actually, I have some left in here. I'm gonna just go over this a little bit. See if I can highlight some stuff. Don't be afraid to experiment, There you go. Can even do this a little bit. There we go, look at that. So we just kind of put some highlights on there, right? Looks pretty good. All right. But one thing I do want to do, get a little bit of that gargoyle, what was it? The dark stone. Let's go back over this a little bit. There we go. Okay. I haven't decided what to do with this railing yet. I mean, it is a combat vehicle, so I don't want to put like yellow stripes on there. Let's focus on this disc here. And for that, let's switch to a different color. What do we got? Okay, plate mail. Nah, it's too shiny. Shining silver is definitely too shiny. Gunmetal. Let's go with something darker. Let's go with this one. It's a deep gray. Yeah, I'm gonna go for the number 2 brush. As you see, I've got a lot of little bits on my fingers. And it's just going to create some smudges here and there, like right there, that looks natural. So don't worry about that too much. don't know if I like this. Because it looks just like what I'm putting on, doesn't it? Okay, I don't like that too much. Let's do something to it. Let's put, let me think here. Let's put some of the gray castle in here. We use deep gray. I'm gonna mix a drop of that into it. Let's see what we get. This might look better. Could probably put more in there, but you know, I'm sorry. Okay, let's come back over here. Now let's go over. Okay, that's a little bit better. A little bit more like what I probably wanted. And you notice some of the other lighter color got into the edges there. And just make it look nice. Now, if at the end you're like, man, I just totally screwed all that up. It doesn't look like anything I wanted it to. Well, spray over it. Recommend that when you do the primer, and even this stuff here, oh, that looks good. That looks good. It almost looks like that, but it's a bit better. Because once we go over it with the toning, it'll look pretty good. Don't be too heavy-handed on your paint layers. Because if you start, having globs in there, it's gonna go over some of your detail, right? And you don't want that, because then if you do go back over it again, if you don't like it, and you cover it with primer again, all the details will be covered over. Okay, so now let's take a look. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. Again, for the 100th time, we're gonna dirty it up. We will dirty it up a little bit. So I was looking at this uniform gray, but boy, that looks all right. Looks like it, doesn't it? I think it's time to break out the gunmetal. Okay, so I'm gonna add some more colors here, and I'll be right back. All right. So, actually, it was 2 seconds for you, but it was actually the next day for me here. Had some family stop by, and we ended up just doing a bunch of other stuff. Got a couple things I want to do here. This part here, I'm gonna change the color a little bit. So I got, what did I get? I got some ash gray here. I got some gunmetal over here. What I want to do is just kind of lighten this up a little bit here. And it's kind of going to go like this. That doesn't look very good. And then I'm going to go back to the gunmetal and kind of just go over this part. So you see what we did is we got a little bit more gunmetal there, just a little bit. And well, here, let me bring this over here. What I'm doing is, here's the gunmetal over here. I'm just kind of wiping it, get a little bit on there, wipe it off a little bit, just so I can kind of go over it like that a little bit. Now we did we did the dark stone, and now then we put a little ash gray on there and there. So you can see it's got some nice shading. You kind of looks dirty now, doesn't it? It looks dirty. And then for here and here, tell you what, let's go ahead and get the just a little. Oh, that's all we need. I just want to put a little bit there we'll just mix this up. I think we got a little bit more solvent in there than paint. And then let's dry that up like this and just kind of go over, because we're going to have a little blaster residue over here, won't we? Not a lot. Just then over here, get a little bit more. There we go. I think we need just a little bit more. There we go. That looks pretty good now. Okay. Yeah. Clean off the brush. And then we'll take, let's see, how do we want to do this? If I take a little bit of this ash gray, just kind of wipe it there a little bit. Just kind of, a little bit more. There we go. So you'll see the ash gray kind of stands out just a little bit. Okay, we can do the same over here. Okay, because it's like a gray on top of a gray, isn't it? And what that does, there, gives it a little bit dirty look. And then we can take, go back to our, this kind of, some blaster marks, if you will. Okay. There. Because, I mean, obviously they've been shot at over the years, right? So then, for this part here, I'm going to get a little bit more ash gray again. And just kind of, well, that's a little bit too much. Hold on. Let me wipe some of that off there. There we go. Kind of giving it that dirtied up look. So we got a little bit more color variation there now. Now, of course, like I said, you can do this however you want to. My friend actually suggested, he was like, just paint it all gray and just go over it with a little bit of tone and you're done. And I was like, yeah, you could do that. You could do that. And it would look pretty good, I think. I think it would look like, but that's too much like a Hasbro toy, you know? And that's not the look I'm really going for. Let's get some of this gunmetal here. Put it over here. I don't know what this part is, actually. But I think it would look good with some gunmetal on there. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to get the same gunmetal and go in between there. See how that looks. Like I said, if we don't like it, we'll change it. There we go. For this back part here, into the flat black, we're gonna put just a little bit more than that. Just a drop of the gunmetal. That's me shaking it up. There we go. Oh, good. I'm gonna do this necromancer cloak. Yeah, that's good. Let's hold that to it. And let's see, which brush are we gonna use here? How much do we have to do? Let's see. I think this one will do good. So we're gonna grab the number 2. If you've got a nice steady hand, use whichever one you like. But we'll see, how's that look? Yeah, this looks good. Because again, we're gonna put the dark tone on there. but wherever the dark tone isn't, we'll have this color kind of come through. So okay, and then for this, let's get that off of there. So I should go ahead and finish using all that. Yeah, let's do that instead. We'll put all this down here. Again, I don't know why he's gonna look down here, but if we're making this video, we might as well do it, right? And the existing color I like. So again, that's the black, flat black with a gray primer over it. Then we put a little gunmetal here and there. And now we're mixing in this color. Get that off of there. Remember, color variation is what we're going for here. And the nice thing about the primers, if you get a really good primer, like from the hobby store, you can go to the hardware store. But those primers, the issue there is their nozzles don't spray fine enough. So it's a little bit, it's a very rough texture sometimes. Now, some of that's how you're spraying it too, but the nozzle does make a difference. The hobby primers, like the war paints and the army set and the Vallejo and then those guys, I mean, their stuff sprays out very nicely. This it'll look a little dirty there down here. Some of that paint texturing, we'll go ahead and do a little bit because we got it on our brush. So what we're doing is just like this, and you can see a little bit over there, like that. I was going to keep this video fairly short, but there's just a lot to do here. I'm going to try to edit it down, do the highlights. Okay, so where'd it go? There it is. Just kind of go over that. There we go. So we got a variety of colors coming up on those pipes there. And then let's go ahead and kind of go over this part a little bit. Now we've already gone over it a couple of times with some colors, but it's all right. That's good. That looks good. Okay. Now we've got some flat black on our brush. Let's go over this part just a little bit. Just kind of like this to highlight the guns and stuff a little bit, the texturing that's in there. I already did that one. Hold on. I don't want a whole lot on here. There we go. Okay. And let's see. It looks like they've been beaten up a little bit, doesn't it? It's kind of the look we're going for. And down here, kind of like a dry brushing kind of thing we're doing here. Just dirtying things up a little bit. And some texture. Let's give me a little bit of this gunmetal here. Go over these guys. That looks good. Then we'll go back to the matte black. There we go. Same thing over here. There we go. Get a little bit more on there. Don't want too much. Just want to, yeah, might have been a little bit too much, but no, I'm happy with that. Looks good. The Imperial War Machine. Bit of a phone call I had to answer there. Okay, that's good. Okay, I'm gonna get a little bit more of this matte black here. Now I'm just gonna go over here, the shiny bit here. Give it a nice greasy look. Yeah, looks good. On this part here, let's get a little bit of this. There we go. And then we'll go into here, there, and there. There we go. Got a bit of a buildup on my brush, so I'll wash that out. Okay. I'm gonna leave that alone for a minute. Let's come over here. We didn't play with this guy at all. And get some of the ash gray here and just kind of over here. There. A little color variation. Again, you can do whatever colors you want to. What do we got? 0 to 0. 8 minutes in, so not much going on yet. I think I missed a little bit here, but okay. Now all these bits here, we got a little color variation here that we can do, like right here. We can highlight that with that. Do the same on the other side. Okay, so we're using ash gray to just go over some of the parts, not all of them. I'm just randomly picking them too. It's like I'm not being all that. I'm out of camera there. We're working on the legs here. You might hear some birds chirping. I've got my windows open in the basement. I'm gonna take some dry rust. All right, let's see. like that's not doing very well. So let's add I'm gonna put a little bit of black brown in. Okay. Let's stir that up and see what we got. So what I like to do is put something a little bit different on the feet. That black brown really took over, didn't it? I'm gonna put a little orange rust in there. This may not work at all. You know, I don't know. I'm just mixing colors. Trying stuff out here. Oh yeah. Yeah. I think that looks much better. Probably should have. Let me clean my brush off. See how that looks. Again, we don't like it, we'll change it. Probably got way too much here. Kind of wiping it on there. Oh, actually, I do kind of like that. And that looks pretty good for like in here. You know, where the joints and stuff are. This is a nice color. Yeah, that was pretty good. That's pretty good. So let's get into the gears here, right? Around in here. Right there. You probably have some over here. Okay, I was totally out of camera there. I'm sorry. And then in here, around in here. Okay, let's take a look here. Yeah, it's a little dirty. Maybe is it too dirty? I don't know. Let's put some here. Because this will be the blast plate, you know. There we go. I don't want to use up too much of this because we got the wash coming. Okay. All right. Now I'm gonna go ahead and I think this just and let's make him stand up. Maybe lower the front, raise the head. I'll take some positioning here. Well, that looks pretty good. That looks really good. Hold on, let me make sure there we go. Sorry about that. Okay, really happy with the way it's looking. Let's break out our tone. So you got your strong tone, easy phyto, soft tone, you got a flesh wash, which we don't need here, and a dark tone. Let's do the soft tone first. Let me shake it up really good. Put some in here. It's really, when this dries, it's barely there. Well, let's get some. And we're going to, you see there, just kind of over there, where the gears and stuff are. In here, in there. Barely noticeable, really. But like over here, like at the bottom, you know. And then over here, you got a lot of gears and stuff, don't you? Yeah, it looks pretty good. So let's get more. I think we'll stick with the soft tone. Does just enough. Let's put a little bit more in there. Got some on my thumb. And let's go over, looks good, probably like over here. And especially this little toe of the walkers here. It's gonna be nice and dirty, isn't it? So now this soft tone will blend in nicely. And again, it's up to you as to how dirty you want it. For this build, I was keeping stuff a little clean. The troopers are, their armor is pretty clean right now. They haven't gone into battle yet, or they're going into it, but they haven't been in it, right? This walker, I tell you what, every time you saw one of these, it looked pretty dingy. It's seen a lot of action. And if it's gonna be dirty anywhere, it's gonna be on these legs, right? Especially like over here, and then down here. Whoops. There we go. I didn't pay too much attention to the bottom of the foot because I'm not gonna show it much. These vents over here, and then oh no, he's headless. Hold on, I didn't put that on right. There's gonna be some vent off gas here. Yeah. Probably a little bit over here. Here. In here, we could just kind of go over it a little bit like this. Just to kind of dingy it up. We can go back over it later with some white or something just to do some highlights, which you might do. Okay, let's put his head back on. Okay. There we go. So looking at the feet, I think they're a little bit too dirty. So let's put a little bit of ash gray back in here. Like I said, you put something on, see what you think. If you don't like it, fix it. This is still a little bit wet, but let's wipe some of that off. There we go. So what I'm doing is just kind of blotching some of that away. There we go. And it's still dingy. You see, it looks a little bit better to me. It was too dark. Like if this thing was walking along the woods, like on Endor or something, then by all means. Okay, yeah, see, I like that much better now. Much better. Let's cover over some. Even put a little bit over here too, just kind of. Okay, so if you look at some of the other painting schemes online, YouTube and whatnot, I think this is somewhat different. Did not put, let's think about this, because this is part of the 501, but they didn't really have the blue in their brigade the way they did during the Clone Wars. So I was thinking like a blue stripe or something somewhere, but I'm not sure. Maybe. I'll think about it. So anyway, everybody, here you go. You know, you can see the soft tone in the back there, and I don't think the head is still on very well. And there we go. Pretty happy with it. Pretty happy with it. Okay, everybody. Hey, Doofus Bob here. ATST Painting. Here's what we got. May the force be with you. Like and subscribe. Tell your friends. All that good stuff. Welcome to the new subscribers.